Hey guys, this is Sanjay from FTC Team 7477, Super 7. Today, I'm going to be talking about the var keyword in Java. So, Java has always been known as a very explicit language. For example, to declare a variable or like a number of some sort, we would write int number equals 5. Or, if you want to make a string, let's say string team equals super 7. So, since the addition of Java 10, which is essentially like a new version of Java, it updates ever so often. The keyword var gives us a shorter way to declare local variables. So, when you use var, the compiler figures out the type automatically. So, let's say we want to make a new array list, right? So, the standard way to write it is array list string list equals a new array list string. So this is the standard way to write it. However, using the var function, we can actually write var list equals a new array list string. Yeah. So this type of list, it's still known as array list with the string data type. However, the only difference is that the compiler automatically infers using the var keyword that it's an array list. So as you saw here, we wrote this whole line here. However, using the var keyword, we can instantly shorten that. So let's go on to the next example. It's important to understand how var works. You can only use it for local variables inside methods, loops, or blocks of code. You can't use it for class fields, method parameters, or return types. Also, another important point is that var doesn't make Java a dynamic language. So, other dynamic languages might have similar functions, but Java still isn't one. The type is still decided at compile time. Once the compiler sets a type, you can't assign something else to that variable. For example, let's say we make var text, right? Let's say it's woohoo. So we have a string here, and text equals 42. In a dynamic programming language, this would work. However, the variable text is a string because the compiler inferred it, right? But because Java isn't dynamic, it can't change to another type. Also, another advantage of using the var keyword is reducing repetition. If the type is really long and obvious from the right-hand side, var keeps the code extremely cleaner. For example, let's say we're making a hash map, right? Instead of writing the first part of creating a new object in Java, we can write var map equals new hash map. We can make it string, and we could map it to an integer, right? Sorry. Yeah. So this is much easier to read than having hash map string list integer equals new hash map string list integer. The main drawback of the var keyword is the readability in situations where the type isn't obvious. So let's say we have a function, right? I'm not gonna write it here. Let's say we just have an example function, and we want to store our results in a variable. So it's not really clear what the data type of this function is. So if someone else is reading the code, they wouldn't know what data type this would be without checking the function beforehand. So only use var in places that it actually makes it cleaner to read. Don't just overuse it. In practice, a good rule of thumb is use var when the type is clear from the assignment, avoid it when the type isn't obvious. That way your code stays short but also understandable. Thank you guys for watching this Super 7 programming tutorial, and see you next time.